Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. It is game number 11 today. Montreal in St. Louis take on the Blues. So in this stream, I will bring you a game preview. So I'll have stats for the game. I've got the lineups. Finally, got them just before coming on here. There's changes, and you'll see why. I've got a little bit of news for you and talk to you guys in the chat. And that's where we're at. We're only two people here, so I'm going to wait a little bit for people who are watching this after I'm done. For regulars in the channel, I have finally heard from our friend Bob Cannon. He's all right. Everything's good. We might not see him around for a little while, but everything's good. Bob Cannon's okay. So he wanted me to pass that on. So very happy to hear that. All right. While people come in, I'll do some of the news. Toronto Marlies, they lost. I mean, they're not our team, but I mean, you know whose team that is. They lost 5-3 to the Laval Rocket last night. But why am I? How's that important? They were leading 3-1 at one point in the game. 3-1. It was 3-1. I always love to see when anything Toronto loses, and especially a Leafs minor team. But yeah, there you go. And the Rocket were in need of the win because they've been kind of not great so far, I think. Let's see. Refs tonight are Dan O'Rourke, who's been around a long time. All refs are garbage these days, but I mean, he might be one of the good ones, I guess. And the other ref is Justin Kia, and he's a rookie. He's only reffed 36 games in his career. So we'll see what we get tonight. Refs suck. Raphael Harvey Pinard is day-to-day with a knee or ankle injury. I think it's not official that's what it is. He took 2 hits along the boards. I believe both of them were along the boards in the last game, and he had to leave the game. You can see it was in his from the knee down, somewhere from the knee down. I'm not sure. I can't remember which leg. It was the right or the left leg. That I can tell you. Christian Dvorak, he's back tonight. He's in the lineup, so this is his first game of the season, hence why there will be changes to the lineup. Mike Pizzetta back in. Jesse Alonen out. Ulen. Gotta get it right. Once again, I forgot to put the overlay for this, but the Guess the Score contest. If you guess the score of the game and the first goal scorer of the game, you need both of those to win. But if you have that and you can pick the goal scorer from either team, doesn't matter. You could win the $10 that's up for grabs directly into your bank account via Interac. My guess for this is 4-1 Montreal. And I'm going to give Tanner Pearson the first goal because he's due. He got 3 goals early on, and then he hasn't scored. He's due for a goal, so I'm going to give it to Pearson. Let me know in the chat, because you got to guess here in this video if you want to be in the contest. So let me know in the chat what your guesses are. Let's see who's here. If you are here, say hi, make a guess. Even if you don't say anything else, say hi, make a guess, and we know who's here. Habs Guru, hey Guru, how's it going, man? 4-2 Blues, Buchnevich. That's how I pronounce it. With the first goal. Wonderful is in. Wonderful is here, everybody. All's good. From the Jimmy Fest. What's that? The Jimmy Fest. We are 3 now. We are 3. We are Devo. We are not men. We are Devo. What do you mean by we are 3 now? In the chat? Yeah, now there's 10. Yeah, I mean, it's good to know Devo is back finally. It might help the lineup. We'll see. Let's take a look. I'm going to say before I show it to you, I'm not the biggest fan of this lineup. I'm not. We'll see how that goes. The Leafs are teaching the Marlies to blow 3-1 leads. Nice. Early, late, I don't give a shit when. Hey, Joe, how's it going there, Joe? The Habs will ultra super win with Gallagher killing it as usual. Maybe a hat trick. He copies and pastes that, changes the name maybe of the team, but that's what he does there. 5-2 says Phil. Joe says 4-3 Habs. Monahan first goal. Mary Joe. So we got Australia in Joe, and we got Mary Joe in England. Awesome. 4-2 Habs. Slav first goal. Good time, except clashes with late football in England. Yeah, well, not much we can do about that. You'll have to switch back and forth. Is there a scenario where Marty St. Louis can take a shootout shot? Nope. Matt Outdoor, how's it going? 4-2 Habs, Newhook first goal. Paul, hey Paul. Now another injury. Bring Joshua up, and I will be happy. I don't think Joshua is coming up, though. I mean, I don't see it right now. There'd have to be some more injuries yet, in my opinion. And I've been leaving there for a little while. St. Louis will be tired. They did play last night. I forgot to put that in. Thank you for saying that, Paul. St. Louis, I want to say they won last night. Against who? I don't remember. But they did play last night. So we got a tired, potentially St. Louis team with their backup goalie. It's their backup goalie in tonight. So that also might mean something. David, 4-2, St. Louis, Suzuki first goal. All right. You guys might regret some of those picks when you look at the numbers. That's all I'll say for now. I gave that. We can talk for a bit, or I can just do the preview, but I'd prefer we talk a little bit, and then I'll do the preview for you guys. That's about all I got, though. So it's that, or make it real quick. Or do you want me to do the preview and we'll talk after? Let's do that. Maybe there'll be more people around. Is Slav in, or is he sent down? That's the big question. Wait for the answer. I'm going to get there. I can see Joshua Roy moving up. He is doing a great job in Laval, and he should stay there, I believe. Yeah, I think he should stay there. They've said they're going to keep him there for a while. Anyone see Jeremy Roenick going off on that on-ice tragedy? Did not. I did not. I hope he wasn't drunk, and I hope he was respectful. Because you never know with him. Guru was watching TikTok and saw on about Marty St. Louis. Totally forgot when he was a Ranger and his mom passed. 3 days later, he played and scored a goal on Mother's Day. That's the coach the Habs need. And that's the coach the Habs got. I mean, that's a guy dedicated. He's very dedicated. And, listen, he's not perfect. I think a lot of you are going to say that. I want to say that before I show you the lineup. He's not perfect yet as a coach. He's still got something to learn. I don't necessarily. I mean, who am I to know better? But it's not my favorite lineup with Devo back. I don't know how else to put it. Now, there's an alternate that I saw, but I don't know if it was any better. Because that line combinations, that's the site. They had one thing, and I was going, okay, I can't wait for the other one. I'll download that. I got that, copied it. And then the lines came out, and they're different on the NHL. So I don't know which ones. I think it's the better. It's still better, the NHL lineups that I'm going to show you that I'm saying is not my favorite. Dvorak is back. You can do what yourself if that's. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Request. Boys, Joshua will show what a hell of a. We're not saying he's not a heck of a hockey player, though. You're missing the point. The point is he's going to be best served down in Laval, being the big guy on the big line, putting up the big points, and just getting full of confidence. Maybe winning a championship down there. So that when he gets here next year, he is going to be amazing. I think that's the plan for him. It's not to say he's not good enough to come up here, though. That's not what we're saying. But why? What's he going to accomplish here? Going to win a championship here? Going to get in the playoffs here? No. You think only because he's here he's going to get in the we're going to get in the playoffs? No. He's better served down there. Why rush him? There's no need for it. All right, we're going to get to the I can like this. We're going to get to the preview. All right. The game we have today in front of us is the 5-3-2 Montreal Canadiens. 10 games in, they're 5-3-2. I would not have predicted that. Against the 3-4-1 St. Louis Blues, and that is in St. Louis. How to watch this game? It is 7 p.m. start Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific. In Canada, City TV. Everyone's going to be ahead of me. And TVA Sports in French. In the Blues region, Bally Sports Midwest, and ESPN Plus and Sportsnet Now or Sportsnet Plus, wherever you got it. It could have a different name. It's the same thing. Season series, they're playing tonight and February 11, 3 days before my birthday in Montreal. Last 10, and for Montreal, they have played 10. So, as I said, Blues are okay, that's weird. They were 3-4-1, so they might be 4-4-1. How do you like that? They just got a win right there. They won their last game. Montreal 5-3-2 lost their last game. Home and away, my cursor just stuck. Every now and then, my cursor just sticks. Montreal's away. Yeah, there you go. This is a new way they got this. So the away record is 1-3-0, so they haven't been great on the road yet. And St. Louis's home record is 2-1-0. Tail of the tape. This is where I might be surprised at some of the numbers. Scoring chances for percentage. So that's possession numbers, I believe. 47.9% for Montreal, 21st. 40.8% for the Blues, 32nd. Goals per game, 2.90 for Montreal. It's dropping a little bit. 20th in the league. An even 2 for the Blues, 30th in the league. Goals against per game, 3.10 for Montreal, 16th. It's getting better. And 2.67 for the Blues. They're 9th, so they're not bad there. Power play percentage. Montreal still at a 20% clip, 15th in the league. 3.7. Now, I double-checked this with the NHL and their stats. Is that, like, even after last night's game, is that right? 3.7. So now you're talking about 9 games into the season. That's a really bad power play. I don't care. That's bad. So that should be better. I don't care what team, that should be better. 32nd, they're last. Thank God they're last. Imagine if there's a team worse. PK percentage, Montreal 75% even, 23rd. And they had 75% there for the Blues, but I went and looked, and it was 79.5%. So 79.5%, 16th in the league for the PK, so they're a little better there. Head-to-head last year, we beat them twice, and they lost to us twice. No overtimes there at all. Face-off percentages. Montreal, 53.7, so still a good face-off percentage. Moved back up into 5th now. And 47.5 for the Blues, 26th. Shots on goal, 4, and shots again. Shots against. So on goal, 4 for each team. They're inverted because, I think it's from the NHL. Or I think TSN, actually. And they haven't fixed that in 4 years. 29.9 for Montreal. 25.1 for St. Louis. And allowed 35.2 for Montreal and 32.5 for St. Louis. Players to watch over the last 5 games. Points, Cole Caulfield with 5, Robert Thomas with 4. Goals, Sean Monahan with 4, Robert Thomas with 3. Assists, Caulfield 4 assists, Nick Leddy 2 assists, and plus minus Caulfield plus 3, and Justin Falk plus 1. Team leaders in goals, Monahan with 6 and Brandon Saad with 2. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I think Robert Thomas has 3, so I don't think it's accurate. Points, Caulfield with 10, Robert Thomas with what I saw today was 7, so this is not very accurate. Average time on ice, Mike Matheson, 24-17, Justin Falk, 23-25, and wins, Jake Allen with 3, and Jordan Binnington with 2. The Atlantic standings from top to bottom, Boston Bruins still undefeated. Detroit, Toronto, and Montreal tied at 12 points. Love that. Why is Toronto listed above Montreal, though? Because Toronto something put this together. Florida is next. Tampa, tied with Tampa there. Buffalo and Ottawa rounded out. And in the league, they've dropped a little bit, and they are now 13th in the league, just ahead of Carolina, and tied with Toronto. Sorry, and the Ducks and the Islanders. So they're in a 1, 2, 3, 4 place tie. 5, actually, Carolina. And maybe there's more. I don't know. I'm really not doing good here, am I? But they're in a log jam with 12 points. Let's put it that way. Top 5 in scoring for the Blues. Robert Thomas with 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Like I said. Kevin Hayes, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Kasperi Kapanen, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Jacob Vrana, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. And Oscar Sundqvist, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Montreal's top 5. Cole Caulfield, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. He's a little stuck there, though. He hasn't had a point in a couple games. He's got a +4. Sean Monahan, 6 goals, 3 assists, 9 points, +6. Nick Suzuki, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points, -1. Tanner Pearson, 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points, and a +5. And Mike Matheson, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points, even. Goalies tonight. Let's double check that. Who's the goalie? I think it's Sam Montembeault. I don't really believe that, to be honest with you. Jake Allen is an ex-Toronto, not Toronto. Too early in the day for me, maybe. Jake Allen's an ex-St. Louis Blue. Why isn't he getting the start? Just because he started the last game? I don't know. I would have given him the start, and wouldn't be surprised if he actually does get the start, and this is wrong. So, goalies tonight. Says Monty, 2-1-1 with a 2.91 goals against and a 9.05. Allen, just to look at him, 3-1-1, 2.72 goals against and a 9.27. Really good numbers. Over on the other side, Binnington played last night, so it's going to be Hofer, I guess it is. 1-1 and 3.01 goals against and a 9.13 save percentage, but he does have the only shutout of the 4 goalies on this board. The Blues lines. Thomas in between Buchnevich and Kapanen, Braden Shen, Brendan Saad, and Jordan Kyrou, Kevin Hayes, Toropchenko, and Vrana, Sundqvist, Blais, and Neighbors. And then you got Leddy and Parayko, Krug and Falk, Scandella and Bortuzzo, and you got Hofer and Binnington. There you go. Montreal. Now you'll see what I mean. I'm not fully pleased with his lineup. Suzuki, Caulfield, Anderson doesn't really work. Dvorak, Slavkovsky, Newhook. I'm glad they've got Slav away from Anderson. That really doesn't seem to work. And that's not too bad, but I would like to see Monahan being that center. And I have a feeling this is wrong, and Monahan will center those 2 guys because that's how it should be. Then you'd have Dvorak in between Pearson and Gallagher, not Monahan. Then you got Evans, Pizzetta, and Armia, Matheson, Kovacevic, Gooley and Barron, Jackeye and Harris, Monty and Allen, or the vice versa because Allen was an ex-Blue, so kind of makes sense to start Allen there. I don't know. Anyway, so it's not my favorite lineup, but I'm okay with it. Especially if Monahan is centering Slav and Newhook. I think that works a lot better, but Newhook is definitely on the wing. Saw Marty St. Louis talking, and he's definitely on the wing. So we'll see how that works out. You can see by the numbers, I don't know. I know St. Louis is at home, but I don't think they're going to win this game. Let's get back to you guys, and there's a lot of comments. Where was I? Down here. Request. Okay, you said Paul says he sees Montreal would like to get into the playoffs. Well, of course they'd like to. Are they going to sell out the development year to get into the playoffs? No, they're not. That's a different. If they generically get it or organically, I meant get into the playoffs, awesome. But they're not going to sacrifice players' development or whatever just to get to the playoffs. That's not the type of year it is. And that's why Joshua Roy won't come up, I believe. I think maybe by the halfway mark in the year, that's the earliest I would bring him up. Unless there's, again, a bunch of injuries and there's no choice. No, Jason, I know that you are. And listen, I'm not going to be here. If you want to be in here and just bash Slav, you can go somewhere else because I'm not doing that. Slav is not the problem that was out there. You're looking at the wrong culprit. So I believe that. And I think get Slav away from Anderson and have Newhook not as the center. And I think that changes a lot there. Slav was really good with Kirby Dach. It's not Slav, it's the center. I believe this. And Anderson was doing nothing. Come on. So I think this is a good setup for Slav. So I'm happier, but I don't want it to be Dvorak as his center. Monahan needs to be a center, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think that's a big difference. And then where are you going to play Roy? What if Roy's not good on the wing? It's too much for him. His first year, first line right wing. If you're not playing him in a top six role, don't bring him up. So how are you going to get him in and comfortably slot him in the top six? Let him stay in Laval for a year, do exactly what I said, come up here loaded with confidence and fully be ready, and then you got that guy. You bring him up now, it's too early. That's what I'm saying. They buy with 4-3 Habs. Barron first goal. You're gonna keep with Barron right till he gets the next first goal. Awesome though, dude. And welcome in, by the way. Laval 5-3 over. I mentioned that actually right at the beginning. Made fun of Toronto for losing when they were leading 3-1. Are you giving what? I'm not gonna read all that. I'm sorry, buddy. I guess I could, but it's a lot. What's that? The breakdown in what? It's not all the goals, is it? That's a lot. I thought Mayu had 2 goals. Where did I see that? I didn't see that. I didn't think he did, though, from what's showing here. Windy City Hockey says, please beat St. Louis. Thank you. I think they will. I mean, I really think they will. Obviously, Windy City Hockey is a Chicago Blackhawks fan. You can't really tell. Well, no, you can. Okay, I see it now because it's a very small thing. My eyes aren't great. But yeah, Hawks fans. So yeah, they want St. Louis to not win, obviously. St. Louis will get a lot of power plays. 3 points will go up. What are you talking about? Look, do you see their if they get a lot of power plays, you're worried about it? 3.7. That's their power play percentage. You're worried about giving them power plays? I'm not saying give them to them, but I'm not so worried about it either. Three Habs stars in the game. Mayette That's who had 2 goals, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know why someone put up Mayu had him. Dobish and Gignac with the stars. Toronto has more goals than less. That's why they're ahead. Oh, no, that makes sense. Conservative lawyer, yeah. Newhook on the wing is the choice. It's the right choice. He was struggling with the face-off circle. I'm sure that had a lot to do with his confidence. His decision making wasn't great as a center. I don't know why. But listen, I had him pegged as a winger coming into the season. Where everyone said center, I had him as a winger. Yeah, we're not listening to that, Phil. That comment's not that wonder, Phil. And it doesn't make very much sense. Trade Monahan fully retained to anywhere he wants to try and get a cup. Hopefully he returns in the offseason to us and signs a midterm, mid-cap contract. No, I don't think that you're not trading him now. You trade him now you take the risk that by deadline time he's not as hot. I guess that's what you're saying. But no. If anything, Monahan's making a good argument for re-signing him. Don't you think? Or am I seeing that wrong? I'm not complaining about about Slav. Yeah, I'm not complaining about Slav. Slav's going to be fine. Yeah, well, that Slav. Listen, if Monahan is Slav's center, I think we're going to be fine. I really listen. It's not my idea of what I said about that, but I don't remember who it was that wrote this, and I read that and I thought, that makes a lot of sense with what I've seen, and I've said this: change the lines for him. I think it's he's not clicking with Newhook as a center, and that's fine. I think Monahan would do fine there, and I hope that's what we end up with. Sufka, appreciate that. It's important to me, so consistency is everything, especially here on YouTube. To be honest with you, consistency is everything. So if you're not going to be consistent, you're just not. I don't need to have people watching. It's not for my ego. It's really not. But why am I doing this if people aren't watching? So you got to be consistent to have that. But I appreciate that. Thank you. Mayu had 2 assists, but I saw it as 2 goals somewhere. Someone put it up wrong. All right. So, so we could talk about whatever you want because, please give your guesses, by the way, here, not in the game time because they don't count there. I gave a little bit of leeway for a week, but you got to give them here. The only time they count for the hangout is when I don't do a pregame show. Then there's a 15-minute, 20-minute time frame. So let's try to do that. And whatever else you want to talk about, I'm open for it. I went through everything. Let me go through it again. A lot of people weren't here when I read this. So what's important that you need to know? Well, Raphael Harvey Pinard, he's out. It's official that he's out, but it's in his day-to-day, but we don't know why. I don't even think they said lower body. We also, if we saw the last game, it's a leg, knee, or ankle. Somewhere in between there. Could be his foot, but I think it's knee or ankle. But no official announcement on that. But he is day-to-day. Wasn't in the practice. Not in the lineup. The refs tonight are Dan O'Rourke, who seems like okay, but refs are all shit, so it doesn't matter. And then there's a rookie ref. It's his 3rd season, but the first one he got 1 game. I think he got 29 games last year. and he's had 6 games this year. His name is Justin Kia. Don't know anything about this guy. Not holding out a lot of hope. We are in the States playing an American team. We're a Canadian team. I'm not holding out a lot of hope that way. But St. Louis's power play is 3.7%. Doesn't scare me. Don't want to take a ton of penalties, but at least it doesn't scare me that they've got this power play. But our luck, that power play might look really good tonight. I don't know. We'll see. So that's what I got that's important from there. Oh, there's a lot of people here. I will say this. Remember I said I hadn't heard from Bob Cannon in a while, and I was worried and all that. So I did. I heard from him. There's a reason he's not around. I'm not going to get into any of that. But I heard from him, and he's okay, and he said to pass it on. I'm glad Bob Cannon's okay. I was really getting to worry about him. Let's see. Algorithms also like consistency. Doesn't really seem to make a lot of difference in my case, to be very honest with you, except every now and then. But I mean, that's the theory, right? That's the theory. Am I complaining about the algorithm? I'm not. I mean, that's a losing game to complain about the algorithm. You have to figure it out what it wants and try to deliver that. And then, it's the people. People want to click. They don't want to click. I can't really help that. I do my best. Do I think Anthony, I've been through this with you before. I've been through this here today. No. I don't think Slav should go to Laval. Marty was asked about that, and I think his response was, no, we haven't talked about that. So they don't think, and I don't think he's the problem on the line. I don't think he's the problem. I think with him being on a new line, with the shakeup because Devo's back, I think we're going to see a better Slav. That's what I think. As long as it's not Devo, I'm not complaining about Devo. I don't think Devo's the right guy for Slav when you have Monahan there. It didn't work with Newhook. They don't seem to want to try him with Suzuki. We'll give him to Monahan. If not, put him on the first line with Suzuki. That's what I think. Those are the 2 spots. Because let's face it, just like I said about Joshua Roy, if you can't play him in a top 6 role, don't bring him here. Keep him in Laval, right? Same thing with Slavkovsky. If he can't play a top 6 role, which he should be in tonight, then why is he here? If that's the case, where he's going to be on the 3rd or 4th line, then he goes to Laval. Other than that, I don't think it's his fault with what's going on here. I don't. There you go. And really, and Matt's not in today, but Matt is really pissed off at everybody getting, coming down on this kid. And I'm right behind him on that. If you want to be in this chat during a game and you want to just bash Slavkovsky, please don't. Or go find somebody else's game that's doing it and go there. Give the kid a break. I don't think he's played that bad. I'm not saying he's been awesome, but I don't think he's played that bad, and I think he's getting a bit of a what do you call that? There's a word for it, and I can't. He's getting a bit of he's getting the short straw. Let's put it that way. How's that? That's not the right way to say it. All right, what do we got here? Oh, it's got another 10 minutes. What are we going to talk about for the next 10 minutes? That's going to be up to you because right now, at this point, you guys are driving the conversation. Name my favorite NHL referee, or let's put this way, one referee you hate the least. Retired referees. If they're retired, I'm fine with them. If they're working, I don't think I'm fine with them. I can't. There's nobody that stood out enough for me to remember consistently good. I haven't seen one. Well, Babe, I don't agree necessarily with that. I think as long as in the top 6, I think it's the center that's the key. Put him with the right center. We saw with Doc, he was good with Doc, right? So he just needs the right guy. I think Monahan is that guy. I mean, if it's not going to be Nick, and maybe even Monahan's better than Nick for this. So move him to Monahan's line, and then if he doesn't do anything, then in a few games, or whatever, give him a timeline, then maybe you send him to Laval. That's all I'm saying. I mean, was it a fluke that he was good with Doc in the preseason and then the first game? I mean, didn't get a lot. Was that a fluke? I don't think so. To see that such a difference when Doc went out and he's with Newhook, boom, immediately there was a drop off. I just think you put him with the right guy. Well, Anthony, I think I wouldn't say you bashed guys, but I mean, you've had your negative side. And a little bit of negativity is fine if it's, and criticism is fine. It's when you overdo it, I think, and some guys, I think a lot of people just read headlines and then they just repeat what they've read without really having an opinion or critically thinking about it to have an opinion. I think that. Now I read stuff. I don't just read a headline and go, okay, I'm just going to parrot that and just keep saying that and keep saying that and keep saying that, and with nothing behind it. I read a story. I read a headline. And oh, that's interesting. I read. I can change my opinion on something based on better information and maybe someone's seeing it a way I hadn't seen it before. Right? I'm open to changing my opinion. That's all. But I see so many people they see something, or a bunch of people I say on Twitter or social media saying the same thing. And then they just say the same thing, but there's nothing behind that. You got to have reasons behind that. Well, Drew and you were allowed to. No, I'm saying, come on, in this early blush of the season. Maybe I'm wrong on that, and if I am, I apologize. But a lot of people just been either in the chat or on Twitter or Facebook just bashing Slav. The more we bash Slav, the harder he will try. That doesn't necessarily work that way, though. Now, maybe Slav is like that. Maybe he is. I hope he is, because he's getting a lot. I hope he doesn't see any social media, because it's not fair. Joe, from what I saw there, we're going to have Slav, Monahan. No, it said Slav, Dvorak, and Newhook. That to me doesn't make sense. Devo in his first game back's not playing second line. Doesn't make sense. Monahan's going to be there, I think, and I think that's going to be a good line. I don't think there's any chemistry problem between Newhook and Slav when they're wingers. I don't think it works for Slav with Newhook as the center, and quite frankly, I don't think it works for Newhook right now as the center. So solve two problems with one move. Well, it's kind of two moves, right? And I think that's where they're going. I really think that's where they're going. I think the key was to move Slav away from Anderson and move him away from Newhook as a center, or move Newhook away from center. You do those two things and you solve this problem, I think. Is it going to make them a playoff team? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it solves this problem, I think. Time will tell. But definitely, I don't think the coaching staff thinks he has to go to Laval. No, because like I said, St. Louis was asked about it directly, and I probably misquoted what he said, but he definitely said no, not at this time. As far as I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he meant. So, give him a little break. Give him a little bit. Have some patience. Have some patience. There's been a number one picks in the last few years that are starting, to find their way, and they were before Slav, right? Like Lafreniere starting to have a good season, starting to find his way. There's another name that I want to bring up that, but you could see with a little patience, he's going to get there. Jack Hughes, who got injured last night, I don't know to what extent. Jack Hughes was so the first year, a little better the second year, and then just off the wall good the third year, right? Everyone's different. Everyone develops at a different pace. Slav was drafted with the thought that 5 years in, he would be dominant in his role, right? So we're only 2 years in, not even, right? We're a little over a year in. Yeah, having Slav, Mana, and Gallagher too, that's a lot of work. I don't think Gallagher should be in a top 6 role anymore. But man, does he work out well on a third line if you give him good line mates. And I think Devo's going to be fine because Devo's good around the net too. I think it could be a good combo. But Anthony, if you're going to try to tell me you want to compare Jack Hughes to what Slavkovsky's going to be when he hits his whatever his ceiling is, come on, that's two different players. You can't compare that. Hughes had 20 points in his first season, so Slav should have. That doesn't work like that. Otherwise, we'd all be robots, and everyone would just follow along the same path, and you can just predict everything. It doesn't work like that. Right? I mean, am I wrong? Do I see that wrong? I don't think I see that wrong. By the way, there's whoever's here. Before you leave, please give a thumbs up. I'm going to stay for a little while longer. I don't know how you can say you're not comparing them when you wrote what you wrote. That's comparing them. So you are. And they do different things. They're different players. They're going to have a different road to their ceilings. Just how it works. Just I don't see why bashing the kid's going to do it. If anybody you want to bash the coach for not putting him where you think. Yeah, Joe, listen, they take that. Listen, and he's 19. And how many 18, 19-year-olds come into the league and are great? How many? Very few. Very effing few. So why should he be that guy? It'd be great if he was. I wouldn't complain, but he's not. But I think if you develop this kid right, and don't say, oh, he needs to go to the AHL. Developed right, this kid will be a force in another 3 years or so. Maybe sooner. You never know. And he could surprise, right? Look, so this year, come back next year, look really good, right? You never know with kids that age, how quickly that change happens. Yeah, I think you're just looking at a small coach in stature and a small player, Caulfield, and they're good. No, I don't agree with that. Marty was a great player, not just because he was a small guy and he can only teach small guys. He was a great player because of a lot of things that have nothing to do with his size. Penalties are a problem, conservative lawyer. I agree with you. Penalties are a problem. I dare say it's because it's a young team, and when you're young and you're not as good as they're gonna be. one of the reasons teams take penalties is because they're always chasing the puck and they're chasing after, and you do things to even it up, right? And that's why. So I think as the team gets better, penalties will lessen. My theory, but they got to do something. It's just they're very undisciplined right now. But I mean, it's a young team. Young teams can be undisciplined. Joe, I never said you knocked him. I know I wasn't accusing you. I wasn't really accusing, but I mean, definitely, I'm not saying you. If you said anything, it was always reasonable. And I'm not really accusing Anthony because I was probably wrong there, but there are people, Aiken, Red, TP there. What's it? T-Cree. I mean, these guys were horrible. And there's other people as well. Another reason a team takes penalties is because they are. I'm not going to be a Montreal. Oh, poor woe is Montreal. This is what I'm going to say. A Canadian team against an American team, I wonder what the stats look like as far as penalties and those kind of things. I wonder what they look like. And then if Montreal's playing Toronto, you know that Toronto's going to get the best of it 9 out of 10 times. So, yeah. So why would that be? Why would it be? Where it's almost predictable since gambling came in. But it has nothing to do with gambling, though. It's just a coincidence. It's a coincidence that with gambling came the worst refs we've ever seen in every sport. It's just a coincidence. And it's in every sport. That's another coincidence. Life is full of coincidences, aren't they? Oh, jeez. I'm not. I didn't say. First of all, I didn't say anybody who bashed Slav hates him. Didn't say that. I think people who are upset with what's going on there are people who just didn't like the pick. That's all. Yeah, Joe. Some of them our emotions get in the way, and then some are inexperience, and then some are penalties happen. But I think as this team gains experience, right, I think penalties will come down. I really believe that about penalties. But we got to do something about it because, I mean, every game it's ridiculous. Now, the last game, I think we had more power plays, but it's rare. It's rare we have more power plays than the other team. It's rare. And then I think every now and then, I mean, they know the stats, the refs. They go, yeah, okay, today we got to do it this way or that way. So, they know what they're doing. If I'm right about the gambling, I mean, that's corruption. It's a concerted, corrupt effort. As if I'm right, because I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. All right, so we're getting down near the end. I don't mind staying till, for the full hour, but like I said, you guys got to drive the conversation. I'm going to be doing enough talking all night. I try to use my brain as little as possible. That's what she said. No. No, that's not what I meant, though. I'm always better responding to questions than to drive the conversation. Phil, if I didn't know better, I think you're coming on to me. I would think you're coming on to me, like almost definitely. What's going on over there, Phil? All right. I wish. No, I don't really. Nothing against you or anything. Just no. Hi. I was going to write something today. I might write something this afternoon. If I do, might be reading it on the show tonight. We'll see. See what kind of game it is. I might be inspired to if I have time in between the end of the game and the next show to write something quickly. But I had in mind to write something about Slav and the situation and how I felt about it. Karaoke session, no, but what I will have in the, I think if I remember to do this now, and I'm bad at this, I've gathered, I don't know, maybe 10 old hockey cards, and we can play the hockey card game. And I thought of doing that today, so I'm going to try. I'll load it up. I know that. Will I remember to play it? I don't know. But if somebody who's here now reminds me in the first intermission, yeah, I'll have that. So that'll be something. Then we'll have the post game where I'll have the game stats and we'll talk about the game. And listen, we'll see. Did it pay off to move Slav around? What did the new lineup kind of look like? We'll talk about that. Oh, that was aimed at Phil? I don't know if Phil's a singer. I know I'm not. The only place I guess every now and then I'll sing stuff around people that I know well. But I never used to do that. But yeah, if I come up with another song idea. Hasn't hit me in a while, so we'll see. And those have to just hit me right in the face. Boom. Oh, yeah, look at that song hit me. And the last one I did wasn't my favorite. And that one, I reached out. Like, I reached for that one. I wanted to do a song, and I came up with something, but not as good as when it hits me, and it goes together perfectly, and it works for me anyway. I don't think people listening to it might find. Safka likes mine. Safka is my biggest fan for the music. God, Phil is my biggest poetry fan, and Safka is my biggest song fan. There you go. And then I think overall channel fan, bar down, Habs Guru. You guys, everybody else would have a long way to go to prove that wrong. A long way to go. All right, well, we're getting down to like the last 7 minutes. Nobody really want to talk to me? On your way out, though, thumbs up. Appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, if you hit that subscribe button, also would appreciate that. And I mean, if you want to donate money, I appreciate that. I think I'm going to give away, see that shirt behind me? I got 2 versions of that, courtesy of Habs Guru. I've got 3 of them I'm going to give away over the season. I think I'm going to give away a t-shirt next when we do a giveaway, which is coming up. It's coming up, or I think I'm going to get killed anyway if I don't. But yeah, so if you are thinking of it, any money donated to the channel, you get into a draw to win a prize. All right. I guess we're running to the end. We're dropping down, and I got nothing to say because I got so much I got to say later. I can't use it all up. I got nothing to say. That's just an excuse to make me sound better. Wet and cooler weather, all cozy. Yeah. Well, we got cooler weather here. It's been wet off and on. That's what she said last night. But no, it's cooler definitely. We are entering we're entering winter. Time change. Oh, that's a time change. Tonight, 3 a.m. becomes 2 a.m. And that's it. This is the last day of the year where it's light till almost 6. And then it's going to be 5. So, yeah, not my favorite. Next year, they are a lot of places talking about when we go back to daylight savings time, might stick there. This could potentially be, at least in my area, the last time we switch back to standard time. And it could be that we switch back and don't switch again, or we switch to daylight and don't come back. If it's this year or it's coming up, it seems like it's more places want to stay on daylight savings time than anything else. So we'll see what happens. For me, the time change doesn't bother me either way. I prefer it in spring, but it doesn't bother me either way, body-wise or anything. I don't lose sleep. I don't gain sleep. It doesn't change. Prefer daylight savings time, though. All right. On that note, I'll be back here at 7 o'clock, Game 11, Montreal in St. Louis to take on the, I want to say struggling Blues because they're kind of struggling, right? And we'll see how that goes. They haven't been great this week as far as wins. They've lost both their games. I think this is going to be a different game. I think they played well in both those games that they lost, just not well enough. One was against Vegas, so not a shock there. I was surprised against Arizona, but they were two well-matched teams as far as where they are at right now. And so, Arizona played a little better. They had the home ice advantage. I guess that's, although they couldn't even fill up 4,600 seat arenas. So is that an advantage? I don't know. But I expect something different today. I don't really expect them to go on a 3-game losing streak, but it could happen. We'll see how it goes. But I expect them to win tonight. I expect them to kind of win pretty decisively. If I'm right, I'm expecting I'm calling for a 4-1 win in my guess for the guess to score contest. I'm giving the first goal to Tanner Pearson because Pearson is due for a goal. So maybe he doesn't get the first goal of the game. Maybe, though, he gets the first Habs goal. That doesn't count for this, but I'm giving it to Pearson. We'll see. Devo could get a goal in his first game back. That happens a lot. Anyways, that's where I'm at. So I'm going to take off. I want to thank everybody for being here. It is Saturday afternoon, trying to build an audience here for this. I will be here 1 o'clock every Saturday. That's the regular time. And we'll have I'm thinking of the Flintstones at the end. I'm not going to say it. We'll have fun, talk about hockey, talk about the game, and see what our predictions look like in the post-game show. All right, so hopefully I'll see you at the hangout. Until then, thanks for hanging out with me here. Stay safe out there. Peace out, and I'll see you a little later. Enjoy the afternoon, and ciao, everybody. Keep your sticks on the ice, and go Habs, go. Go Slav, go tonight. I want to see a good game from him. Ciao, everybody.